Welcome to the Intelligent Tech Agency channel, a hub for all tech enthusiasts. With decades of experience mostly in software development, today we're venturing into the intriguing and somewhat contentious world of robotics. You've likely been aware of the buzz surrounding the massive investments poured into AI robotics by tech behemoths such as Amazon, OpenAI, Microsoft, and countless others. As a fellow software developer, I too am trying to untangle what this signifies for our careers and the future path of our profession. Today, we'll tackle some key questions and explore the possible outcomes of the rise of robotics. What is the purpose of these robots being developed? When will they become a commonplace part of our lives? How can one from traditional software development to a career in robotics? And finally, how might the rise of robotics impact the economy at large? There's a lot to unpack, so let's jump right in. Despite seeming like a fresh concept, robotics has a long history. The term robot was first coined in 1920 in the R. Rossum's Universal Robots. This three-act drama depicts a bleak future where robots, initially created by humans, seize control and catalyze humanity's demise. It's a narrative akin to Westworld, and for over a century, it's been stoking fears of robots either taking our jobs, supplanting us, or potentially both. The world of technology is ever evolving. Not long ago, robotics was considered a niche field. Today, it's one of the fastest growing sectors in tech. Over the past decade, robotics has catapulted from a fringe interest into a central player in the tech industry. The numbers tell the story. Investment in robotics companies has soared, with billions of dollars pouring into the sector each year. Market research firms project that by the end of this decade, the global robotics market could be worth a staggering $500 billion. But it's not just about the money. The sheer volume and diversity of robotics applications are also expanding at a breakneck pace. Think about it. From autonomous vehicles navigating our roads, to drones buzzing in our skies. From robotic arms assembling products in factories, to personal assistant robots in our homes. Even in healthcare, robots are performing surgeries with precision beyond human capability. As a result, this explosive growth has led to an increased demand for skilled professionals, and that's where developers come into play. Developers, long the backbone of the tech industry, are finding their skills increasingly relevant in the world of robotics. Their ability to write code, troubleshoot complex systems, and think algorithmically are all invaluable assets in this field. Additionally, the rise of open-source platforms like ROS, the Robot Operating System, has made it easier than ever for developers to transition into robotics. These platforms provide the tools and frameworks necessary to build robotic applications, essentially lowering the barrier to entry. The shift is already happening. Developers are not just transitioning into robotics, they're thriving. They're building the software that powers these remarkable machines, they're shaping the future of this industry, and in doing so, they're opening up new horizons of possibilities. With such rapid growth, it's no wonder developers are considering a pivot to robotics. But what does a successful transition from development to robotics look like? Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth. First up, we have Alex, a seasoned developer who made the leap to robotics 5 years ago. He was driven by a desire to be at the forefront of technological innovation. He says, "It's like being a part of the future." The biggest challenge for him? Mastering the physical aspect of robotics. As a developer, I was used to dealing with code, not gears and actuators. But he found his coding skills were a significant advantage. Understanding algorithms, data structures, and languages like Python or C++ were a massive help in working with robotic software. Next, meet Sarah, a developer who transitioned 2 years ago. She was motivated by the potential impact of robotics on society. She says, "I wanted to create technology that could directly improve people's lives." Her challenge was understanding the interdisciplinary nature of robotics. "I had to learn about mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and even a bit of biology for some projects." However, her experience in problem-solving and debugging as a developer proved invaluable. We also have Raj, who pivoted to robotics just a year ago. He was attracted by the creative possibilities in robotics. "It's a field where you can truly invent and innovate," he says. His main hurdle was learning about hardware. "As a developer, I was more comfortable with software, but in robotics, hardware is just as important." His background in object-oriented programming helped him understand the modular design of robotic systems. Then there's Maria, who switched to robotics 3 years ago because she was fascinated by artificial intelligence. "Robotics is a great way to make AI tangible and interactive," she says. Her challenge? dealing with the uncertainty and unpredictability inherent in robotics. But her skills in software testing and validation were highly transferable to ensuring the reliability of robots. Lastly, we have Tim, a developer who transitioned a decade ago. He wanted to work on cutting-edge technology. Robotics was the next big thing, he says. His biggest challenge was adapting to the fast-paced, ever-evolving field of robotics. It's a field where you're always learning. His programming skills were crucial, but so was his ability to learn and adapt. From these stories we can see some common themes. The move to robotics is often driven by a desire to innovate, create, and impact society. It requires developers to step out of their comfort zone and learn about hardware, engineering, and sometimes even biology. But their skills in coding, problem-solving, and software testing are highly transferable and valuable. It's clear that transitioning to robotics can be quite a ride, full of challenges and learning. But as Alex, Sarah, Raj, Maria, and Tim show us, it's also a journey filled with excitement, creativity, and the opportunity to reshape the future. As these stories show, a move to robotics can be a rewarding career shift for developers, but it's not without its challenges. A transition to robotics is not a walk in the park. It requires a significant investment of time and effort, and perhaps even a paradigm shift. Indeed, switching to robotics from traditional development fields can be a daunting task. It's like learning a new language, only this time, it's the language of machines. It's the language of sensors and actuators, of algorithms and real-world physics. This complexity can be overwhelming, especially when you first dive into it. The field of robotics is also incredibly broad, spanning numerous disciplines from mechanical engineering to computer science, from artificial intelligence to human-robot interaction. As a developer, you might find yourself needing to acquire a wide range of new skills. You might need to learn about kinematics and dynamics, control systems, machine learning, and more. This need for continuous learning can be both exciting and challenging. Another challenge that developers might face when transitioning to robotics is the potential for job insecurity. The field of robotics is rapidly evolving. New technologies are emerging, old ones are becoming obsolete, and the job market is constantly shifting. This can create a sense of uncertainty. Will the skills you acquire today still be relevant tomorrow? Will you be able to keep up with the pace of change? But let's not forget that every challenge also presents an opportunity. The complexity of robotics technology means that there's always something new to learn, something new to explore. The broad scope of the field means that there are many different paths you can take, many different roles you can play, and the rapid evolution of the field means that there are always new opportunities on the horizon, new frontiers to conquer. So yes, transitioning to robotics can be challenging. It can be hard work. It can require a lot of dedication and persistence. It can push you out of your comfort zone. But it can also be incredibly rewarding. It can open up a world of possibilities, a world where you get to create, innovate, and make a real impact. Despite these challenges, many developers find the potential rewards of a career in robotics worth the effort. So, should developers pivot to robotics? The answer, as with many things in life, is it depends. The world of robotics is no longer just a vision of the future, it's an exciting reality that's unfolding right before our eyes. In our journey through this video, we've seen the astonishing rise of robotics, a field that's growing at a rate that would have been unimaginable just a few years ago. The potential for growth in this sector is immense, and the opportunities it presents for developers are equally staggering. We've also heard from developers who've successfully transitioned into robotics, proving that it's not only possible, but also potentially rewarding. They've shared their inspiring stories of how they embraced the challenge, adapted their skills, and found themselves in a field that's innovative, dynamic, and brimming with potential. But as with any major shift, there are challenges to consider. Transitioning from traditional development to robotics isn't a walk in the park. It requires significant learning, patience, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. There's the challenge of mastering a whole new set of skills and tools. There's the uncertainty of stepping into a field that's still in its formative years. And then there's the risk, the possibility that despite your best efforts, things might not work out as you'd hoped. Yet these challenges are not insurmountable. They are simply part of the journey, the stepping stones that lead to growth and innovation. And for those who are willing to take the leap, the rewards can be truly extraordinary. So, should developers pivot to robotics? That's a question only you can answer. It requires an honest assessment of your skills, your interests, your career goals, and your appetite for risk. If the potential excites you, if the challenges inspire rather than deter you, and if you're willing to embrace the journey with all its ups and downs, then perhaps robotics is the path for you. But remember, the world of technology is not a static one. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing. Today's hot topic might be tomorrow's old news. So whether you decide to pivot to robotics or not, staying adaptable, staying open to learning, and staying curious about what the future holds, these are the keys to success. Whether you decide to pivot to robotics or not, one thing is certain: the world of technology will continue to evolve, and staying adaptable